Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Cookies Enabled. My name's Andrew, and today we're going to be talking about the iconic bridge in Charlevoix, Michigan. Now, if you've ever driven through the city or visited, you've most likely driven over it or you've at least seen it. Now, when settlers first came to Charlevoix, there was just a small channel that connected Lake Michigan with Round Lake. And some of the first people here obviously decided we need a bridge going over this channel. So the first bridge was constructed in 1870, and it was just your standard walkway bridge, basically what was needed at that time. As the community grew and as those needs changed, different bridges would slowly replace that one. And there have been many different types. We've had rotating bridges, we've had other styles of drawbridges, but the current bridge, the fifth one, is what they call a two-leaf bascule bridge. Now, how a bascule bridge works is that there are two counterweights on either side of the leaves. And those counterweights allow for the roadway to lift up without putting too much stress on the bridge's structure. The counterweights on this bridge are 70 tons of concrete and steel. And in a little bit, we'll go down and show you what it looks like underneath the bridge. Now, I had hoped to do a longer video showing you the inside workings of this bridge up close and personal, but unfortunately it was denied by the Michigan Department of Transportation. But I do understand the reasoning and I respect that. Now, as I said, this bridge covers a major highway and divides the city in half. Big point, the hospital in Charlevoix is located on the southern half. So anybody on the northern half, if that bridge weren't there, would have a much harder time getting to a doctor or the hospital if necessary. As I said, Lake Michigan opens into a small lake here called Round Lake, and that opens up into Lake Charlevoix. Lake Charlevoix is a very long lake. There is a ferry roughly halfway along it that you can take to cross, but otherwise you're looking at a 40 to 50 mile drive around the lake just to get back to this side. In an emergency, that just would not do. So for security reasons, they did not want to permit access to the inner workings, and I completely agree with that. But I will show you a little bit of the surrounding area, what you can see from public sidewalks, and you can get a better idea of just how large these counterweights are. You can see some of the gears and mechanical bits underneath it. It really is fascinating. So we'll take you down there in just a moment and explain that just a little bit more. Okay, so we are on the west side of the bridge currently. You can see our lighthouse down at the end. And as we follow the channel down this way, you can see the bridge. But we're going to walk this way and take you underneath the bridge on this walkway. Both sides have one of these, and they're just for pedestrian crossing. Makes it easier with the heavy traffic road behind you. But if we look through here, you can sort of see some of the mechanical workings of that bridge. No motors on this end that you can see, but that is the counterweight that I talked about, 70 tons of concrete and steel. So from this angle, I apologize that it's dark, but you can see a little bit of the gears that the bridge rides on, pretty much in the center of the screen there. And the counterweights, as I said, are pretty much there to help balance everything and keep too much strain off of those motors. And all of that power comes from this tower here, one of the mechanical towers. The control room is at the top, and I wish I could have shown you that, but that was not in the cards. So this is just a brief tour of the underside where you can sort of see what's going on behind the scenes, and we will head back to the igloo and finish this up. So going back to the history of this bridge a little bit, as I said, it was completed in 1949, but it was started much earlier. They started putting out bids for contractors in 1940, but due to World War II, that process was halted for several years. It wasn't until 1947 that construction finally began on this bridge. The very beginning, they had to dredge out some portions of the channel, set down the foundations for everything, and then they could get working on the Bascule towers. I should preface this that before construction began, they actually towed a 123-foot span bridge from Wisconsin, I believe it was, so that they would still have traffic moving back and forth across the channel. And construction again took at least well over a year. It began in late 1947 and ended in, I believe, March of 1949. Throughout this time, construction went pretty smoothly from what I've been able to find. They started with the towers, then they would start building the trusses that go across the channel. They had to cast the counterweights. Again, that's a lot of concrete. You'll see how big they are. But it was open in, as I said, it was open in 1949, and this bridge has stood there ever since. It has obviously went through maintenance, as would be expected. Once in a while it does break, and that can be a little annoying. Most of the time, though, it works pretty flawlessly and has been serving this community for over 70 years. So if you're driving through Charlevoix and the bridge is up, it is easy to spot from quite a long distance, mainly because of the terrain. There's a hill that moves down towards it, and from several blocks up you can see it standing upright, allowing ships to pass through, and it allows traffic for many different reasons. On the other side of Round Lake, for instance, we have a Coast Guard station. They need to be able to get out into Lake Michigan. On this side of the bridge is the dock for the Beaver Island Ferry Company, and we'll do a video on that at some point as well. It ferries hundreds of people each day back and forth from Charlevoix to Beaver Island. I've seen USGS barges here when they are docked for testing. The marina over here is home to many people's personal boats and yachts, and the channel allows them to get out into Lake Michigan. And to do so, during the summer, the bridge opens on the half hour every hour. You can imagine how much traffic that congests in a tourist town in the summer, but you live here, you're used to it. It's fun to see. Everybody that comes into town that has never seen the bridge, it's just a fun little icon of this community. You'll see that bridge on logos for many different companies all around. You can get mugs with it on there, and the community really takes a bit of pride in this bridge. On New Year's Eve, for instance, they light it up. Well, they light it up pretty much every night anyway, but New Year's is special. They will raise the bridge shortly before midnight, and instead of a ball drop or fireworks, they will lower the bridge so that hopefully it connects right at midnight. Just a fun, different way to celebrate bringing in the new year. Again, it's something the community loves to see. And yeah, if you're ever in Charlevoix, please stop by, take a moment, watch it raise and lower. You can see all of the ships passing through. And it is just a spectacular work of human engineering and what this community was capable of doing over the centuries. So, if you're ever in Charlevoix, definitely stop in and take a look at the bridge. We do have a few parks around it with some history of the bridge. I'll show you that in a moment too. But other than that, that's the story of the Charlevoix Bridge, and hope you learned something new. All right, so just a quick add-on to this video. I wanted to show you a small park that's up here right by the bridge, and it has a little bit of history from some of the older bridges, so let's go take a look. So from this park you can see the opening of the channel, some of the condos there, and you saw when we were down there near the underside of the bridge, which is right over there. But if we walk this way, there's a small little park here. It doesn't look as nice as it normally does right now, but we just had a lot of rain and the snow's melting. But trust me, they'll get out here very soon and make it absolutely gorgeous once again. But we're going to focus over here for a moment. We have a plaque talking about one of the older bridges, and that was the last swing bridge to span this channel. That one was built in 1901, so if you remember, we talked about the first one being completed in 1870. They really upgraded their bridge pretty quickly. So that is one of the earlier bridges, and as you can see, the railings on that plaque match these railings. Those are the original railings of that 1901 bridge. And then over here, we have this key. Now, that swing bridge was operated mechanically. At that time, I would assume by some steam engine or something. But this key was used, as you can see, to turn the bridge should those motors fail. And you can see the main key down there that would go into the gears, and people would twist either end to keep it open if necessary. So yeah, just a small little park with some history from previous decades. Again, it's an absolutely gorgeous city. If you get a chance, come and visit and come see the bridge.